news from Knit Happens Teeside for the 40th week of 2025. I actually nearly skipped a week. I had to check which week it was. The other night at knitting, Jill was at Girl Guides instead. To facilitate, I've got matcha to drink, that might help. And that's the cat. First aid! I couldn't think of the first aid thing. A first aid badge is what she's facilitating with her big little person, or a little big person. So she wasn't there. Helen came and she's still working on her last section of the shawl, but she had with her this completed blanket. Isn't it fantastic? And it's a gift for me. So I helped distribute another friend's stash, and Helen did tell me she was making this for me, and it's suffragette colours, and it's absolutely lovely, and it looks really good on the poof actually. It's just about the right size. I was working on the grey. I haven't got it up here because it's more or less the same as it was. The Jaeger Luxury tweed jumper. So I did sort of mention something about making my own needles when I was like 17, 18. I think it must have been 17. So me and my friend bought a big long broom handle, and we cut it into 4 pieces and sharpened the ends. And I knitted quite a few jumpers, and I took orders for the local punks because they knew that I'd knitted my own. And it was the old mohair that's like quite thick. And we used to knit it on these gigantic needles. I don't think I've got a gauge this big. Let's see. I've got a measure there. Ooh, might be about I think it's about a 12mm. So I also designed and knitted a jumper for myself, and that's long gone because that's a few decades ago. And I thought I would reproduce it. I was inspired by Neil's 1984 theme for his Blocked magazine, but the deadline's the 15th, and I would, to do that I would be writing a pattern. And I don't really want to do deadlines, but I think I might have this knitted soonish. Now, it came to a big halt because I could only find one needle. I have no idea where the other one is. And I did actually put elastic bands around the end to stop the wool from falling off this end because there's no stopper. So I did have like bobbles or elastics. That was a good idea for that end. I wanted to actually make it on the same needles. And then I realised I might be able to do it with just one of the thing that I'm going to do. So let's see. You'll see something next week if I manage to do that. Let's say that. Yeah. I've also been working on the baby jumper, which started at this size, and then I thought, no, that's too big. So time passes so quickly, doesn't it? And then so I undid it and went for the smaller, and then she visited, and then I realised it wasn't big enough, so I've gone back to the 1 to 2 years. So she'll probably grow. I think it'll be alright round it, but it might be a bit long if I follow the pattern. I don't mind how that's working out. It's like diamonds, isn't it? I haven't got the ball bond in this bag with it, I don't think. Or have I? Yeah, yes, I have. It's Fancy Yarns Sir. And it's acrylic. It doesn't say so, but it's acrylic, and I'm on 4mm needles. It's kind of quite firm, but to me I think it's going to wear well. It feels like, it's not floppy and going to get misshapen. I think it's going to sort of keep its shape, and it's going to be quite nice. So that was that. Was I working on that on Thursday as well? I think that's what I was working on. I had a few things with me. I also had my Make Orange Great Again shawl with me. I have not abandoned it completely. Oh, it's not in this bag at the moment. But it's not what I'm concentrating on. And that knit along has finished, and I don't know if he's picked his winners, but good luck everybody if he hasn't. So Saturday was the Guild Day, the Durham Guild of Spinners, Weavers and Dyers. I think I've got that in the right order. So I had wee Peggy with me because Bill, who's always there, and he helps to repair and maintain the wheels and anything else that they've got. And he's a retired engineer, so he also makes things. And he's made me an orifice hook for wee Peggy because I had a hole with no hook in it. There's a place on the front of the wheel for a hook. I thought that was a perfect match. I'm really pleased with it. So that's the wheel I chose to take because I thought he said he was going to do it. And he did. I was inspired by Ply and Dye with Becca. Now she lives in Wales. Quite near the coast, I think. Somewhere I have visited is Fishguard. I have visited there, and we camped our van right on the edge of a cliff at Fishguard. And you could see the ferries coming in and out. We were going to Ireland, I think. Anyway, she got a load of autumnal colours, the oranges and sort of pumpkin-y colours, and blended them. I don't have a blending board yet, but I think I might get one. But I had a rummage, and well, she spun them quite loosely and made a pumpkin. Quite textural, really nice, and I thought, oh, that's really inspirational. So I had a rummage in my bits and bobs. I thought, I'm sure I've got like some bits of orange, just merino tops, and dug them out, and I've got a beige colour as well, and I thought, oh, I'll mix them up. But my brain just went neat. So I've spun all the orange, and I'm in the middle of spinning the beige, and I have a pattern which is a wheat stitch. Oh, where's that on my phone? Right, it's all moved because I had to look to look it up. So Amy of Two Sisters and Some Yarn has been busy crocheting and kind of hooked on making the wheat stitch pumpkin spice crochet trio, which is by Brianna K Designs. So I've hunted that down, and it's like you get rows of wheat stitch with a different texture in between. So I thought I would mix my colours up when I actually make it. So this is my orange, which has come out quite well, on the wee Peggy, which is double drive, and I wonder if that makes I think it's making a difference. I've had a go on, I've used all three spinning wheels, so I've got the Ashford Joy, the Rapard wee Peggy, and the Ashford Traveller. And I've been sort of spinning small amounts, so I've used them all recently. I actually spun half of this on wee Peggy and half on the Traveller, and then plied them together. Don't know if that's a good idea or not. Don't look at my dreadful nails. So that has been washed and thwacked along with my lace weight, and I've got quite a little stash now of yarn that I've spun myself. So I'm halfway through the beige. When I've got the other half done, I'll sort that out, and then I can make some pumpkins. That's the plan. Faye she came back and didn't manage to get to the knitting group, but she did show us her UK project, which is this. It's been quite an ongoing project, and it's a Martin Story blanket, and I suggested, well, she said, oh, I thought I was finished and I have another strip to do. I suggested that she just ignored the other strip and just finish it off, because who would know? But the thing is, it would be imbalanced because I think it's alternate. So she felt like it would be imbalanced. So she's got another strip to do. If it was me, I probably would have lost the wool. I don't know why I've only got one needle out of a pair. I've been through all my needles. I've been through underneath my stairs is like Jenga of knitting baskets and bags of wool. So I've been through all of that. The only thing I did find was perhaps some evidence of moths. Now, I did have some cream yarn that was double bagged, and there was 2 moths inside the first bag, but not the second one. And I did find, but they were on my carpet, some pupa. So that's not great, is it? But they've been hoovered up, and the lamp goes on every night to zap them if they come out. Did I mention the guild and then never told you anything more about it? Oh yeah, I told you about getting the orifice hook, didn't I? Well, it was bring and brag, but it was weaving, and I haven't done weaving for years, but I have done some, but I don't really intend on getting into the weaving, not yet anyway. But there were some beautiful cloths, some beautiful weave patterns. There were a handful. There was 5 or 6 different ladies there who had a few things to show that they'd woven in the past year.
The hook lace, yeah, so there's like 2 quite distinct sides, but they're both alright and they're both nice. So that was from the book I bought from Anne when she was destashing earlier this year.
And one of them said she was not going to make tea towels. And then she made a load of tea towels, but she just wove away. She made about 5, I think, on one warp. And they were lovely. And they've also had different classes, because it's quite in depth, isn't it? And there's lots of different techniques. But I don't really know enough about it to sort of describe anything to you particularly. But there was the lotus plant. That was from, was it Burma? Yes, I do think it is Burma, but I did write a note about it, and it's on the phone that I'm recording this on. But I've just Googled it, and I'm coming up with the lotus plant flower. You know, the lovely lotus flower. Well, the plant. Now, this cloth, I'm not sure if this lady wove it or bought it when she was there, but it's absolutely gorgeous, so I had to have a feel of that. Now, I must say, it has the flop of a more well-worn linen, or it felt almost suede-like, or like kid leather, not kid more, kid leather. Very soft to the touch, smooth but drapey but floppy. Really gorgeous cloth, absolutely lovely. It's very time consuming. I've just been having a look. Rare, time consuming and expensive process of extracting fibre from lotus stems. often used for monastic robes and other textiles like scarves and shawls. I think she did say there was a religious aspect to it, but that was absolutely gorgeous, and that's not something you'd see or get to feel any day of the week normally. That was a real treat. Sammy was there, and this is what she was making. So she brought her country spinner, something I haven't seen. And she actually managed to pick it up second hand, and she was making this art yarn. She might weave it or she might sell it, and her company is Auspicious Stitch. She has is it an Etsy shop? Guess I shall have to check. I am wearing now there's a kind of a well-known designer who designs shawls, whose knit-along's just started, isn't it? And I did do the one that was very controversial. I started it and I did not finish it because I wasn't very happy about the whole situation. And I have looked through his patterns, Stephen West. I have had a look through his patterns, especially when it's been something like his birthday and he's had a discount. I haven't really seen any that I like that much, but I do know that Fee made Texture Time, and her version of Texture Time was absolutely divine. Her colour choices were really nice, and I think she'd just used scraps from her stash, but it was lovely and quite inspirational. But I haven't made any of his shawls, and I don't really intend on doing so unless I see one that I think is gorgeous. Now, Texture Time's nice, and I know he did years and years ago, but I think it's still available. He did something that's quite really Art Deco-y, that's inspired by Art Deco buildings. I like that. I don't know if I'll ever make it. So this was a knit along. It was A Secret Friend by Christina Villimate, if I've written that down right. I can't remember where we started. I think we started at this end. So these are stash yarns, and we've got this sequence of increases via yarn over holes, I think, and then we've got a textured. Is that mosaic knitting? Looks like it, doesn't it? Can't remember, it's been a few years. And then we've got the lacy holes, and then this is just sort of is it reverse stocking stitch? It's just reversing it every few, and then we've got an asymmetric end. The main yarn it's quite nice actually. It's posh yarn, merino and tencel. Can you see there's a fudge there, but no, I won't point it out too much, but I did fudge it at one point. So it's actually quite a good size. It's I would say mid-sized. Not a shawlette and not a massive shawl. So very wearable. Yeah. So that's probably still available, the pattern. So after the guild, Helen and I had a quick pop into Durham because she had a gift to buy, and we went in the Mugwump, which is a very gifty shop. Got more stairs down there. It's all uneven, all the floorboards are all uneven. You come out feeling a little bit disorientated. It's a bit like not motion sick, but you could probably be. It just does funny things to you because it's all on a slope and a slant. I hadn't been downstairs before, and it's like a little cave. And I think there was even further down than that you could go, but that was staff only. Because I think it back onto the river, I think. So there's a road. The road where you enter is a lot higher than the back of the building. So it's kind of got two cellars, I think. It's confusing. Anyway, that was a nice shop. And then we went for tea and cake in Cafe Durham, which is the last cafe on the way up to the cathedral. And we did have to wait for a seat, and the tea was served in china. Mine mashed and Helen's didn't. We each had a slice of, it was called ginger slice, and it looked like millionaire's shortbread. It was on a shortbread base, but it was like a creamy textured top bit that had it, so it was obviously sugary, caramelly, but it had notes of ginger and warmth of ginger, fresh ginger, without it being too much. It was really nice, and that wasn't something I'd ever had before. And then we skipped back to the car, and on the way we saw a blue plaque, you know, the big plaques. And it was a plaque about Professor Dame Rosemary Cramp, who was the first female professor at Durham University. And she was a professor of archaeology and Anglo-Saxon, a specialist in Anglo-Saxon. She was employed in 1972. So there's more information on her. She's kind of like Googleable. That's good, isn't it? So on the Sunday of my weekend, I went for a little walk with hubby and the dogs, and we went to a place called Spion Cop. During October, I'm going to hunt for old gravestones. Now, in Durham, opposite the Guild, is the Guild's in the church hall, so the church is over the road and the graveyard's over the road. And I think, was it last month, I skipped over the road and had a look, and the oldest grave I found was 1708, I think it was. So I'll have to get a better picture of that at some point. So I'm on a bit of a hunt for really old gravestones. So we went to Spion Cop, which is on the Hartlepool headland. And the headland obviously is, well, it's what it says, but it's big. It's got quite a lot of houses on. But it sticks out into the sea, and the sea is on each side. So we go down this very long Roman road, park up, and then through the gates. And there's a path that goes up through the middle of the graveyard and comes out at the sea. I like it when it's all overgrown. It's used to have lovely long grass and wildflowers in between the graves. Now there'll be wind on this. We'll just go and have a look at the sea first. Used to think it'll be the oldest. I could Google it. Where's the dog gone? Wasn't there a dog grave round there? There's a dog. Policeman, you know. Here we go. Straight out onto the sea. North Sands. Hartlepool. And that's the way down. I don't think we're going down today, are we? I'll show you this. That's an old, what was it? It was to do with the works, wasn't it? What do you call it again?
Pier.
Yeah.
Steely Pier.
Steely. They've been going over this with a lawnmower. Oh, look. It's getting damaged. I don't know who it is. Is it Bartholomew? 1881, aged 42. He dropped something. Dropped his lead. I've seen a bird. Twitcher. It has been really lovely going there, but they've cut all the grass. And there'd be all sorts of different grasses, because if you look closely at grass, there's not just one kind, is there? There's hundreds. And when they're in flower, you get them blowing in the breeze, and you get like purples and golds and all gorgeous colours. Anyway, they've chopped it all. And I'm rattling the phone, aren't I? But it was still great up there, but it was very windy, so I don't think I've got some photos. There's some sandstone graves up there. Get too weathered. So I don't know what the oldest graves were, but I only saw late 1800s, early 1900s, and I was on about a dog on the footage because there was a grave for, was it Redjaw Ralph Bantoft, he was a policeman who chased my husband when he was, I don't know, was he just trespassing or something? I don't know what he was doing, or he was supposed to, I don't know whether he was supposed to be in school. He got chased by the local bobby a long time ago. And there used to be a big full-size statue of like a German Shepherd on this grave. So we only actually, we popped off to see to see a good friend's daughter play. This is a funny story, isn't it? It winds around a little bit. We popped off early, so we only went round half of it. So we'll have to go back and do the other half. And then next to the other half, there's a Jewish graveyard. Morning, Daisy. Daisy sniffed my face in the middle of the night, and all her whiskers went tick, 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 tick. So I didn't mind because she's so lovely. So what I was trying to say is the very old graves you can't read the writing on because it's worn off. Oh, and halfway through we popped off to go and see a very good friend's daughter playing rugby. Now she's only in primary school, so she plays rugby in mixed teams, but she's a chunk. So when she got the rugby ball and started running off with it, there was about 3 lads trying to take her down, and they were just falling off. It's so good. It's so funny. So like all shouting her, you know. That was good. I hadn't seen her play it before, so I might go and watch a proper match because we were only there for like the last half hour of it, if that. But she was glad that we'd gone to see her. So with it being October, we're going to have a little bit of a grave theme, which would be in line with the Politically Incorrect Knitters Memento Mori Puritanical Knitting Fun Run. But I think the rules would be, see, I've already started my dark coloured top, so I don't think it's going to be included. But it's good to know about all these things, isn't it? But I would prefer to just knit at my own pace. I think that's the thing. So I think I've told you absolutely everything. So more news, maybe, next week. to Oldham, got some yarn.